Welcome to the Dummy Plug Book Club! Yay! It's the best book club. Because we talk about Ava. I'm Kamal, and I'm here with General Iowa.
Hi, folks.
This is our second episode. Also, we've officially come up with a name, Dummy Plug Book Club. I don't know if we had talked about it last time.
No, we didn't. We came up with it after we did the recording.
Yeah.
So, the picture that we used for it reflects the fact that we had a name, but yeah, shows you that we didn't come up with it until afterwards. But hey, now that we have one, we'll be fine.
Dummy Plug Book Club. Hard to say.
Yeah, half the stuff with this series is easy. Yeah, that's what we need to worry about, is easy pronunciation with Ava. Uh-huh.
Evas. They don't even know how to pronounce stuff.
I was going to say, I still need to find that. There's a clip of, British racing hosts attempting to say Evangelion and fucking it up hardcore. I gotta find that.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, it is absolute gold.
All right, so today we are talking about Volume 2, which is chapters 7 through 12.
Yes. And before we begin discussing it, we're going to do the chronological timeline of what is going on exactly. So, everything didn't get released into English until the 21st century. No big. But in Japan, this came out in March of 1996. So, we're only about 5 months removed from the start of Ava, and either it's over or it is close to being over at this point for the original run of the TV show. So if you go back and watch what corresponds to this volume, you're not going to notice much in the terms of differences. As we've explained before, the license that Sadamoto is given and the differences that he begins to incorporate, those are not really going to change until we get further along with the timeline. More like, I think it's actually next volume is when we really start to see the changes begin.
I think the earliest big change is Asuka, Asuka's introduction.
Yeah, and I think that's either next volume or that's either next volume. No, that's volume 4.
Yeah, because volume 3, they still need to get Ramiel.
Yeah. Yeah, we still have to get through Ramiel before we get to Asuka. So yeah, volume 4, when we get to that episode, we're going to start to see some real hardcore changes, and you'll figure out why when you listen to that episode, because it honestly, I only have to say one thing, and everybody's going to go, oh.
I don't know what that thing is.
When it came out.
What?
The volume, when it came out in Japan.
When did it come out in Japan?
It came out 2 years after the TV show started.
I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there.
We'll get to that.
Awesome. All right, so let's jump into it. It's, again, pretty much the same. The last one ended with Shinji looking out over Tokyo 3, Misato sort of inspiring him, this is what you saved.
Yay!
So then it gets pretty slice of life for a while.
Yeah.
Which I mean, the show did too. You can practically hear the Misato's apartment theme playing.
Yeah, I mean, the only big difference in the entire sequence with Misato's apartment is how we're introduced to Pen Pen.
Mm-hmm.
Because instead of him, he goes in, is he? Yeah, he's already he's in the fridge in the original series, but
no, he meets Pen Pen in the shower.
Does he?
I think so, because they do the can gag.
Oh yeah, and they don't do that in this case.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shinji kind of wanders over to the fridge, and then all of a sudden it just opens, and there's Pen Pen with a towel and the little traditional thing that Japanese people use to go to go bathe with all his supplies.
Mm-hmm.
and then he just kind of runs off, and he actually has this amazingly grumpy face.
Yeah, Pen's a little grumpy. He doesn't like Shinji that much.
Yeah, he's not a fan of Shinji. Like, he's more so not a fan of Shinji in this than I think he was in the original series. Because in the original series, he's just like, meh.
Yeah, this is another person who lives here.
Yeah, and in this one, he's like, who the fuck are you?
I also love the chores bit.
Oh, when Misato just busts out rock, paper, scissors on Shinji, and he's absolutely terrible at it, so he has to do, like, everything.
It's like 80% of the chores.
Yeah, I can see in the panel that I can only count 6 times where Misato actually has to do something.
Out of, 7 times, out of 35 times, 35 different things, got, 6.
Yeah, and there may be, 1 or 2 more that's covered up by the speech bubble, but yeah, pretty much Shinji has to do everything, and Misato gets to be lazy.
Then there's gets to the, I think this is the first classroom scene.
Yes, it is, and it's shocking development here. The teacher's droning on about second impact again. Oh, man, I hadn't heard that one 11 billion times in the show.
Really, really great exposition here. Very organic.
And it was the last year of the 20th century. I'm sure you all know about the great meteor impact in Antarctica. Seriously, you can hear the teacher in your head as you read his lines in this volume. It's just like, oh god.
Because they don't really know about it because they were born shortly after that happened.
I was going to say, yeah, nobody in this class would have been born at when it happened. They would have been all afterwards.
Which is actually a thing, but
yeah,
this classroom specifically.
Cough, cough, cough.
But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we will get to that again. And, of course, not much is changed with the 2 girls who initially start the rumor about Shinji being the pilot, or Kensuke taking notice of this fact as he sits there and is Kensuke.
I don't know how I feel about how they did Toji. He reminds me of Tristan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Or some sort of combination of Tristan and Joey. The Joey
God.
accent with the Tristan sister issues.
Yeah, it's wait, I thought Joey's sister was Serenity.
I thought that was Tristan's.
No, it's Joey's sister, because Tristan tries to hit on her.
I don't know. He looks like Tristan.
Yeah, he looks like Tristan, and he acts like Joey Wheeler. It's not like it's an implied accent. It's he has an accent because of how he's written.
Yeah. And I think in the Japanese, they wrote him a specific way, too. It's supposed to be implied he's from a certain area, has a certain dialect.
They're not trying to make him like Osakan, are they?
I don't remember.
That might, because I know that's the gag they used with Osaka and Azumanga, with how she speaks and her accent. So it may be something similar to that. 'Cause they're obviously either going for Brooklyn accent or country bumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
Or a combination of the 2 of them. I'm not sure what the hell they're attempting to do, but
yeah, then sorry?
Do we get as much out of Toji in the original series about what's going on? Because I don't think he speaks this much.
No.
About it.
Yeah. He's pissed off, but he's not this pissed off, and he doesn't talk this much.
Yeah, true. Though Shinji does give a better line about this entire thing.
In the show or here?
No, right here, but because...
Oh, yeah, he's snarky here.
Yeah, it's like, what do you want me to do? Kneel down and beg for forgiveness?
He does not care at all. He has no self-preservation.
Yeah, exactly. And then And then after he gets punched, he follows it up with, "Don't you get worn out from being angry all the time?" It's like, wow, Shinji.
Like Spider-Man over here, all the snark.
Oh, it's funny. Oh, it's great. And then we get a carbon copy of the training sequence.
Yeah, like shot for shot.
It's almost shot for shot. I think the only difference I really noticed was maybe Misato's outfit, and that's about it. And maybe like minor dialogue changes.
Yeah.
When it comes to everybody involved. But other than that, no. I mean, this is still so early on in the process, not only for the manga itself, but also it's so close to when everything was being done for the original show that there's not much differences yet. I mean, we keep harping on that, but if you read it, you just see there is not much different. I think this is almost a trend that Ava tends to do at times. It's that the original show, Rebuild 1, and the first like 3 volumes of the manga kind of are like setup points,
Mm-hmm.
and that give you a sense of familiarity, and then the big changes begin to occur once you get to a certain point.
Yeah.
Due to whatever reason.
I think the biggest change early on in the manga is Shinji, like his sort of manner, because he's a lot snarkier and he's a lot more depressed.
Yeah, you can tell that he has like problems, like real problems.
Yeah.
And that it's not just like, it's not just vague I'm a teenager kinds of things. So it's like these are real concerns and like things that someone should be seeing a therapist or a psychiatrist or taking medicine possibly for.
Yeah, like this page I'm looking at, it's sort of his internal monologue as he's going through this training. It's talking about him dissociating when he's like experiencing like difficult emotions. Like he's just admitting that like, yeah, I just disassociate and pretend it's happening to somebody else. Like that's an awful thing.
Yeah, that is like a really bad thing. Like for a 14-year-old is like thinking like this, that is not a good thing. But it shows you just how bad off Shinji's had it for about the last 10 years, I'd say.
Yeah, because he's lived with his uncle for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And they make reference to that a couple times. Like, in that scene, Misato was making reference to, oh, his uncle hasn't even called yet. And then at the end of this volume, they talk about him going back.
Yeah, yeah. And then we get to Pen stealing beef jerky.
Just every time they cut back to this apartment, it's just an adorable slice of life. Just like all the crap in Misato's room. Like,
yeah,
I love all of this stuff. Like, there's a steering wheel.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, why the hell does she have a steering wheel on her desk? Like, what the hell?
Just like clothes everywhere.
I think there's a guitar in there too, if I'm looking at this panel correctly. Like, what the hell?
Jeez.
God, she is messy. Maybe a hoarder too.
I see a baseball bat. Like, what?
Oh yeah, there it is. Yep.
And like, they made reference earlier to the fact that, like, oh, Shinji, your stuff is here. I just moved in too. Like, she hasn't been here long.
No, she hasn't. So she's brought this crap with her from wherever the hell she was before. Like, that worries me.
And then we get the report.
Oh, the journal, which is, oh man.
I don't know, that was kind of weird, because like they've got this journal that's like everything that happened to Shinji over the course of the day, and then later he's gonna run away.
Yeah.
Like, who got fired? Who slept on the job? Because
Pretty much.
they're always on. Unless the implication is that Misato is watching him.
Either Misato's watching or the intelligence section, the one that's going to go grab him later when he runs away.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are, and they're feeding her like information, and that may not be like part of their job. She's just asked them to keep an eye on him anyways, and give her the information while she's not around him at school. But it does bug the crap out of him, like really badly.
He doesn't really say anything about it. There's one thing I do like that he says that it's sort of the theme of this whole volume. Like, he talks about, like, him and Misato are talking like, why do you pilot the Ava? And he's like,
yeah.
I don't want to. Like, people just ask me to do it. I don't care. I'll do it. Like, okay, it's just a thing that is happening. He's just sort of passively going through his life.
Then she tries to say that you're gonna if you think like that, you're gonna be dead soon. And he's like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah, like, he's just sort of drifting through his life.
Also, I don't know, Misato, if yelling out in your body doesn't belong to you anymore. I don't know if yelling that at a 14-year-old is necessarily the best idea in the world.
And then just looking at the penguin like, I guess he's in a bad mood.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, geez. Toji's stance in this frame. Oh, they do some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's going for by like having his feet that wide, but
power
okay.
stance.
Yeah.
And then he just goes straight from depressed to snarky. Nothing flat. It's like, you must really be bored. Check up on me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Toji's threatening him with physical violence, and Shinji's like,
wow, big man. Look at you.
Ooh, I'm so scared. Ooh, I'm so scared.
Yeah, they didn't do that in the show, did they? It was just sort of he was sitting up there and then Ray shows up.
Yeah, he's just up there, and then Ray shows up. Oh, and to be fair, I mean, he does say, if you want, you can even push me off this roof. Oh yeah. I don't think necessarily telling someone that you can shove them off of a roof is a good idea there, Shinjo. But yeah. Oh, hi, heavily bandaged Ray. Okay.
And then the fight scene. And this is basically shot for shot.
Yeah, there's not much difference. I think the only real difference between like the two is possibly like what Hikari says to Kensuke and Toji when they want to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's like, other than that, yeah, you're not missing much.
Yeah. And like, sort of, shoot, I always forget his name. Kensuke? The video camera one?
Yeah, that's Kensuke.
Yeah, sort of how he convinces Toji to come with him. Because at this point, Toji is internally already, like, forgiven Shinji.
Yeah.
Which is sort of different from the show, because in the show, he doesn't really soften up until Shinji actually saves him.
Yeah.
There's one thing, I think I pointed it out when we were talking about the show in the Dummy Plug podcast as opposed to the Dummy Plug book club. When they're when Shinji first saves them, and like Misato looks at his heads up display, and like two little pictures come up of them and all of their information.
Yeah.
Like the government just has information on presumably everybody.
Yeah. Given what we learned later on in this series, like, that's kind of a tip-off, like a big tip-off to something going on.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, it's this, the whole world is recovering from this catastrophic event. Like, I'm not surprised that they have this gigantic totalitarian regime.
Yeah, very true.
If they can shut off all of the power in Japan to fire a gun once, I'm sure they have a pretty strong hold on the identity of their citizens.
Yeah, exactly. God, I can't even imagine what the world's population is at this point.
Like a third.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is, because if we were to use current population counts and like locations of them, India would have been fucked. So there goes like a third of the population, and I think a lot of China would have been screwed over too. And since most of China's population kind of lives closer to the eastern half and the water, yeah, they would have been flooded out of existence pretty quickly too.
Yeah, because earlier when the professor was talking, he said that the seas immediately rose by 60 meters.
Yeah, that is a lot of height really quickly.
Yeah, so most people living near water, which is most people, are kind of not in a good place.
No. I've always kind of wondered what would a world map of the Earth look like in Ava circa 2015? What would it look like if we were to go off of a 60-meter rise in water levels instantaneously? I'd like to see...
I'm pretty sure they have visualizations for that.
Do they?
What does the world look like if the sea levels rose by this much?
Might need to look at one of those eventually, because it's I can't imagine what's left of the world except for the interiors of the continents.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that Japan is as habitable as it is.
Yeah, that doesn't... Now that I think about it, how is Japan still, a thing?
Yeah, I don't know what their sea levels are like. Or how high above the water they are. Okay, so this always bothered me. How did Shinji keep control of Unit 1 when he ejects the plug?
I have no idea. I've never been able to answer that one.
I just kind of assume he locks it and then unplugs himself, but...
Yeah.
But in his panel, it looks like he's still controlling it.
Yeah, I've never understood that. Is there a temporary autopilot thing or something?
I think we might be reading a little bit too much into it, but...
Reading too much into Ava?
Yeah.
Ball?
Yeah, you're right. I don't think that's a thing.
Nah. Come on. What do we know? And isn't it Misato's orders to let him in this show?
Oh, I think it is. I think she's like, hey, you need to protect them, let them in.
And in this one, it's Shinji's doing it and Misato screaming, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Misato takes the Ritsuko line. It's what are you letting civilians into the plug for?
Yeah. Yeah, then she tells him to turn back, and he doesn't. Which I kind of agree with Shinji. Like, he's the only person who can do anything.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how retreating in this instance is going to do any good.
I also don't know why they keep training him with the gun. It's like the gun doesn't do anything. The gun has never done anything.
And he also never seems to, like, he never uses it correctly anyways. It always gets sliced, or he misses miserably.
Like,
no matter, like, what battle it is, except for like against Romuel with the positron rifle, and even then, that's kind of like a fluke shot.
I don't know why they didn't keep that. It's like, that angel's up in orbit. Get out the rifle.
Well, they did do that in the show.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, see, yeah, they did.
Yeah, see, they sent out Asuka with that one thing, and then she had her mind corrupted, and then they tried the positron rifle with Rey.
Yeah.
And it didn't have enough of an energy output to get that high up and do anything.
Yeah.
So then they had to go into the basement and grab the lance. But yeah, you're right. You'd think that they'd use that, like, if the one department can get it assembled in 3 hours, you'd think they'd use it more often. Oh well.
So at the end of the battle, I think Shinji has more of a crisis than he did in the show. Like the, why do I do this? Who do I do this for?
Yeah, he does. I mean, the action shots are not much different because you still have the two tentacles piercing Shinji's unit,
mm-hmm.
and then he still says, "Oh well, fuck it, I'm going to stab you anyways."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he does seem to have more of a, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Breakdown?
Nah, yeah, a little bit, yeah. It almost does seem like he's about ready to have one of those as he's going through this.
Then we get to Shinji Runs Away, Part 1.
Oh, god damn it, Shinji, you... Yeah.
Gets snarky, and then disappears. And Misato slaps him.
Yeah. She slaps him pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
I think that's the first time that she's like, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. I thought he was acting weird, but I never dreamed he'd run away. Uh-huh, sure. Uh-huh. You're going to do that to a 14-year-old, and you're not going to make the idea come into your head that he might run away. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Good one, Misato. I see you've dealt with adolescence very often in your lifetime. Though I do like Toji and Kensuke's reactions when they have the idea, it's like, well, if it bothers you so much, why don't you ask Ayanami? They just kind of stare at her and they're like,
no,
you do it. No way. She makes me kind of nervous. Yeah, me too.
And we get Pen Pen so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pen likes Misato.
They definitely give more character to Pen.
Yeah, and the show he's just sort of there.
Or yeah, he's just he's almost like a gag.
Mhm. I mean, he's not too much more of a character in this, but
at least you get some differences and well, and the other big thing is that when Shinji runs away, we don't get the train.
Yeah.
We don't get him watching that really, really crappy movie about Second Impact.
Mm-hmm.
We just get him going to the campsite.
Yeah, he just sort of picks a direction and walks in that direction.
And then Kensuke with his war games.
Like, Shinji's been walking in a single direction for 2 days, and Kensuke's just there.
Makes me kind of wonder how the hell did Kensuke get there?
Yeah.
Like, did he walk?
Why does he have that rifle? Where did he get that rifle?
Is it even real?
I'm going to assume so. Because Kensuke is a man of integrity.
Fuck.
He's got a grenade on his jacket.
Does he? Oh, yes, he does. Oh my god, he looks like a frickin' GI from Vietnam. Oh my god.
What is he doing?
Well, I know in the
playing war, I guess you could say. Alone?
Yeah, because he does that in the show, and he's making like he does all the voices too.
This kid's insane.
Yeah, he really is. Oh, and then here comes public security and intelligence to make everything bad again. Boo. And everybody has, like, Jubilee glasses. Probably wearing, like... I just imagine those jackets are all yellow, too.
Probably, just because.
Yeah, it's just not only do they work for Nerf, but it's also a secret Jubilee cosplay, like, gathering. And it's like, fuck, we gotta go work. Hold on.
I also think the glasses are that big because they have another set of glasses under those glasses.
Nice.
For extra dramatic. And they're wearing them at night.
Yeah. I do find it kind of weird they ask him if it's okay that they take him back to headquarters.
Yeah, I don't know, I think it was supposed to be like a protocol thing.
Yeah.
We are to escort you back to headquarters in accordance with Clause 8 of Public Security Act.
Where in the show they just say,
Get over
hey,
it.
you. Yes. You're going back. Ah, damn.
But another thing I'd like to point out is that it doesn't show him responding.
Yeah, you're right. He just kind of stares at them blankly.
I'm building up to a point later, but we'll get to it.
Okay. Oh, you are? Okay, cool. That works.
So Misato comes in. She's like, oh, she's going to be so mad, and she's sad. And then she asks him the question again. Do you want to be an Ava pilot?
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, what I want doesn't matter.
Do you blame Shinji for answering like that?
I mean, it makes sense. Like, and she already told him, like, your body doesn't belong to you anymore.
Well, I think it's also the fact that no one's really regarded what Shinji has wanted for his entire life anyways.
Yeah, so it's just sort of ingrained in him that, like, why are you asking me? It makes no difference on anything anyway.
Yeah. And then, of course, Shinji has one of those classic, oh, wait, I think I get the idea, too late moments when she says goodbye. It's like, then Shinji goes, oh, wait a thumb.
Oh, there is something I want, but oh well.
Oh, well. Too late.
He's like, yeah, just go back to what you were doing before.
Go back to your uncle. Oh, boy.
So then goes to the train. Oh, so this was... I thought I noticed something here. When Ritsuko is like, are you sure this is okay? Like, he's trying to leave. And Gendo says, this is one of the scenarios we predicted. it's simplicity itself to foresee what a person will do when they're cornered.
Yeah.
Because she's like, we need him. Like, why are you giving him the option of leaving?
They talk about brainwashing him, too.
Yeah, and I'm like, maybe not.
Yeah, it's like, that probably is not the greatest idea in the world. The fact that they would even consider brainwashing someone to pilot an Eva is kind of hardcore.
Yeah. Also, I don't think it makes sense. Like, what you learn later on, I don't think it would quite make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
So then when they're escorting him out, this scene, and Ritsuko's there, and she's like, I have a message for you from your father. He appreciates your efforts on our behalf. And, like, it's just that little taste of gratitude from his father. And then she just leaves him with it. Just, like, that little bit of it. And, like, he's sort of still hungry for it. And then he's like, well, what about Misato? And she doesn't give him that. He's like, oh well.
Yeah.
And then, like, it seems very cold, well, because it is, but, like, it's like, oh, here's a little bit of gratitude from one person, and that's all you're getting. And she walks away, and you can see her smiling. So what I think that means is that Gendo told her to do that because he knew that it would make him want to stay.
Yeah. They don't do that in the show either.
That whole bit with Ritsuko?
With, like, giving him that little nugget of encouragement and praise, because it takes a lot longer before we finally get to a point where Gendo actually praises Shinji.
Well, I don't know if he meant it or not. It's just, it was a tool to get him to stay.
Yeah, it is a good tactic on Gendo's part. You know, for not being around his kid that much, Gendo sure does know how to manipulate his kid.
Oh, he's been manipulating people for ever.
Probably his entire life.
I wonder if Shinji's uncle is Gendo's brother or Yui's brother.
I've always kind of wondered about that. Like, I've always kind of wondered about Gendo's life before Eva, and then, like, Shinji's life between Yui's absorption into Unit 1 and him coming to Nerve. Like, I think those are things that could be fleshed out better, and it might give us, like, better context as to what the hell's going on.
I bet it was Gendo's brother.
Probably.
If Gendo's brother is similar to him at all. Because you know they don't care about him at all.
No, they don't.
So I wonder if it would be Gendo's brother who doesn't really care about him either, or it could be Yui's brother who resents both him and Gendo because she's dead.
That is really something I would like to know.
It's the little things.
Yeah. That's the thing with this show. The little things, if they were given to you, could really give you, like, clarity as to what is going on.
A lot of good shows like Mad Max, which came out this weekend. Everyone should go see it because it was one of the best movies I've ever seen. But it's like they developed a whole world and then told you a little story that took place in the world.
Exactly.
So yeah, then there's the whole scene with Kensuke and Toji looking for Shinji.
Those two are just too adorable talking to Misato.
And then in the show, is this why Misato went to go see him off? Or which?
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah, this is in the show, and here it's the conversation that she has with them is the reason why she goes, but what's said here is there's more to it here than there is in the show.
Yeah.
Especially because Kensuke gives like her the idea of what Shinji was up to,
Mm-hmm.
and that doesn't happen in the original series.
Does she bring Pen in?
No,
No.
no, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. She doesn't bring Pen with her.
Yeah, here,
It,
for those of you who aren't currently looking at the manga right now, she's bringing Pen with her. Like, she picked him up when she got to her apartment and just never put him down. And then just like all these scenes of her running to her car, and she's just holding Pen. So, Shinji's at the train.
and the intelligence and the nerve officers are actually there with him.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't just like ditch him at the train. Not like in the original series where they're just like, oh, here's the train station. Yeah, we're sure you can get on a train by yourself. They just leave. It's like here, it's like, okay, we're actually going to make sure you get on the train, and that still doesn't work.
I like to think, because Misato finally shows up before he gets on the train, and she's like, all right, you guys can go. And she turns around, and I like to think that at this point she doesn't know what she's going to say, so she just sort of looks around for things like Pen, and then she tells Pen's story.
Yeah. And she calls him a useless greedy bird too, like ouch.
Yeah, so here's, like, this is what I was sort of building up to. Like, after Misato tells her story, and Shinji starts crying, and then he says right here, like, I don't want to go back to where I was before. That's sort of the first time he's ever given any indication as to what he does or does not want.
Exactly.
Like, before it's always been like, it doesn't matter, like, I'll just do what you tell me to do. And this time he's like, I don't want to go back to my uncle's house.
Yeah, exactly. Like, whatever happened at his uncle's place must have been really, really worse than what we're led to believe.
Like, I think the thing is that, like, there's not even somebody in the immediate vicinity who could possibly care about him. And then Misato just told him there that she cares about him. And he was just told by Ritsuko that his father cares about him just a little bit. So he's sort of realizing that he does want people to care about him.
Yeah. Well, all people want people to care about them. It's just Shinji has not been that great at acknowledging or expressing this fact until this moment.
So yeah, good character building.
Yeah, it's amazing to see good character development like this early on in Eva.
Yeah. Like, they really got that down.
I think it's because Sadamoto's the one doing it and not Anno, which helps in my opinion.
Also, I mean, they've already done it once before. They know what worked and what didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I like the way this scene unfolded way better in the manga than in the original series.
Yeah, because it was character development. It wasn't just, this was a thing that happened.
It also, like, things happened. It wasn't like nearly a minute of Misato and Shinji standing there doing nothing with nothing moving.
Budgets.
Yeah. Because if you thought they started doing the whole nothing happens for long periods of time thing later in the show, oh, sucks to be you. They started right from the start.
They started early and did not stop.
Nope. And this is also when they had, this is when they had switched over to the sausage finger style of animation in the original series, so it just made it worse. So everybody looks funny, nothing's going on, and they're just standing there at a train station. And I mean, hell, in the original show, all that happens is Shinji's standing there. Misato drives up. She's not even like there. She's on the road. They're just looking at each other, and like none of this dialogue happens. None of this development.
Yeah, she walks
nothing.
up just as the train is about to leave, and then the train leaves, and she's like, "Crap, I missed him," and he's still standing there. And
Exactly. It's like
everything sort of happened inside the characters' heads, and we didn't really get any of that.
Yeah, like I don't like that when it comes to. I really do not like that when it comes to the original show. Like that just really bugs the crap out of me.
They got better about it later, but again, early. I think what they did in the manga is that they started Shinji in a lower place so that they could sort of bring him up and show you that they were bringing him up. And in the show, they just had him in this weird implied place and didn't really give the audience much of that until later.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, and that's the end of Volume 2.
Yep. There you go.
So Volume 3 is the fight with Ramiel.
Yay, Best Angel!
Screaming Blue Octahedron.
Oh. And the last volume we're going to get where there's normalcy for like between the manga and the manga and the show, because once we get past volume 3, we are going to have very divergent paths going. So there's going to be a bit more about what is going on here and how it is compared to the original show.
I wouldn't even say divergent, but maybe supplementary. Like it tells you different things that aren't, like, they don't go against what happened in the show, but it's stuff that you wish you would have heard in the show.
Well, at times, yes, but there are other times where it's just we're going to get to points where it's just going to be completely different.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like there is just such a radical difference into what is going on that who knows what's the truth? Where is the truth? Who knows?
Ano knows, and he's not telling.
Ah, damn it. I hate the fact that that's the only guy who knows everything, and he won't say anything, and he won't even give us any like good clues to it either.
You know what else he won't give us? 3.33 in English.
Yeah. Yeah, by the way, I'm gonna spoil that before Gaynor spoils it on the other podcast. So we talked to Funimation, and yeah, it's basically something may come towards the end of the year.
This year?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yes, maybe. They couldn't give us a definitive because they're still working on the whole damn process. But they're hopeful we'll get something like either by the end of the year or like the early beginning of next year.
Good stuff.
Or it could just be a swerve and it comes out on like the 20th anniversary of Eva first showing in Japan, just to screw with everyone. But yeah. So.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for Volume 2, kids.
Yeah, get ready for Volume 3, Best Angel and Best Science. Not
yeah,
really.
it's probably good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing we have you, because I'm sure you're gonna have nitpicks or gripes or whatever about the science.
Oh, I've already griped about it.
Well, you could gripe about it in a new way if you want.
I could.
Yeah, you could.
All right, so I'm Kamal.
I'm Iowa.
Good night or good morning. Good afternoon.
And have a better tomorrow.